Hey everyone, today we're going to do a little bit of behind the scenes, as you can see doing it in my product photography over here. So today we are doing a Jones soda. I'm going to put that there, Jones soda. So that's what it is for today. We're going to be doing that. We're going to be doing a little bit of an ale, Dead Guy Ale. Let's see if that focuses right there. Very, very cool can right here. Good product inside of there. So we're going to end up doing that one today too. So what I've got today is I've got a little bit of a behind the scenes where I learned this trick. I'm going to put this in the center, wipe it all off, make sure it's all clean. I've got my flashes set to A and B. I've got one at 1/128th of the power, and one is at 1/8 of a power, just to kind of make one side a little bit lighter than the other side. And I've got a couple of flags on there, which I've got these to kind of diffuse the sides. So you'll see that a hard light on one side, that's without this. When you put this on and move it a little bit closer, it softens that light, so it makes the edge a little bit crisper, and it spreads and softens the light to be a little bit wider. So that's what we're doing with that. So I've got a 32-inch LCD TV hooked up in the back. And what that's doing is I've got my laptop off to the side, and I'm just changing the pictures on the laptop, which are displayed up on the TV. So you can't see my monitor right now, but what I'm doing is I'm just changing the background to just show something a little bit. That looks really cool. So we're going to end up doing something like that with that right there. Let's see what that looks like. I want to show a little bit more of the scene itself. So I think we're actually going to go, I want to show a little bit more of the scene. I want to see a little bit more of the background. So we're going to go like that. So I feel like black is going to look better. So we're going to take that off of here. We're going down here is not showing any of the resolution of the screen coming from the laptop. So that's very important when it comes to that. So we're going to slip this over here. So make sure you clean your surfaces quite a bit. Let's go with that. Let's go with that. You know, put this up against the screen so it's nice and tight right there. And then we're going to bring over that. So we're going to be really, really creative when it comes to something like this. So I think we're going to do, I've got another ale that I purchased also because of the colors of the can. This is from my next town over called Holyoke, Massachusetts. So we're going to do something like that. Let's see what that looks like in the screen. I'm going to do this one landscape wise. I just want to see what this looks like as far as I think it's going to look cool with the background in the back right over there. So we're going to do that. We're going to zoom in to about 50 millimeters because my boards are a little bit too long for me right now, so I need to zoom in a little bit more. I'm using the Sony a7 III. I'm also using the 24-70 G Master 2.8 lens for that, and I'm zoomed to about 50 millimeters, and that way there I can slide my tripod forwards and backwards just a little bit. So I just want to see, so let's see if you can see my monitor screen over there is on the other side. Where's my monitor screen? Right back over there. So there's my monitor screen right there. See it right? Ooh, right. You always love when everything's reversed. So that's my monitor screen right there. So that's what we're doing with something like that. So right now I want to bring this back over here. So I am getting it inside of there. So we're going to take this. We're going to slide this out just a little bit more so I can see it a little bit better. So my settings for right now, if I decide to keep this, is at 1/250th of a second, 3.5, because I want to show the background. Normally I'm controlling all the lights. So I'm doing 1/200th of a second, f8, 9, or 10, and ISO 100. And that way there, I put my lights where I want them, guide them, grid them, and direct them however I want. Now I'm starting to do something with a little bit of the TV in the background with a BMP file from my computer. So now I can go to, stock.com and buy or even get all of these free images that go with my product. So if I've got something that has a little bit more gears and things like that, a little bit more auto mechanic kind of thing like that, I can go and get a couple of wrenches to put up inside of the background. I can get a back bench. I can put bokeh pictures in the background to kind of just use that. So I'm going to show you as we're doing this. I just want to see what this looks like. So I'm doing manual focus. And I'm focusing using my focus magnification on my A700, A7 III. So I want to keep this right to about here so you can see the mountains in the background. So anytime you move the board, the plate, the base, or even your camera, you have to go back and refocus, okay? So right now I've got this inside of here. I am at 1/250 of a second, 3.5 and ISO 500, just to give me, because I want to keep the background in the background. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shut my light off just to see what that gives me, and that's going to be hard for me to see on, but you can see what I'm doing over here. So let's see what this looks like over here. So I brought don't know if you could see that right over there, just a little bit, ISO 500, 3.5 and a 1/250th of a second. So I want to see the background a little bit more. So I'm going to bring my aperture up to 8. And I'm going to bring my shutter speed down to 1/100th of a second, and I'm going to bring my ISO up to 800. So I'm still going to get a nice, good, clean image when it comes to that. Let's turn this back on. And once that kicks back in, I'm going to be able to refocus because I just made a few changes in here. So let's do that. So there's my letters right there. I shut the overhead light off. I just want to see what this is going to do for me. I do have my shutter on a trigger, so I'm just going to do something like that and pop that. Okay, so I can see right now that I can see my craft beer on that one side over there. I changed my aperture. That looks really, really good. I'm very, very happy with that. So now I'm going to add my diffuser on here, so my 1/32. So I'm going to go up 3 steps, 1 stop. So I'm going to put my diffuser on there, and that softens the light across the front very, very well. Very happy with that. Oh, I'm getting a little bit of flare on the back screen, so I got to watch that back there. Let me go back to my screen. And okay, it's not there, so I can have it on that image. All right, let's get that back out of there. It's not on that one. All right, so I think I like that one right there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take this one off over here. I'm going to let this go up over the top, just like that. I'm going to bring my other portable one over here, and I'm going to bring this to right here and get myself in as close as I can. All right, without being in the shot, but still flagging it off of the screen. That's going to be the most important thing for me. I'm very, very happy with that. I don't need to go any higher. So I'm done. That is one image done. So we're now going to put this aside over here. And now we're going to bring in the next one. We're going to do the dead guy ale. So I'm going to put my spot back into the same one. I'm going to look for a horizontal picture. Okay. So now I'm going to go over to my laptop, and now I'm going to change from there. That looks really cool with the Dead Guy Ale on the back. And I'm using landscaped images. I really like this one right here. I'm using landscape images. All right, I'm using landscape images to show up on my screen so that they're out this far, so I don't have to worry about cropping one. If you're gonna use a portrait one, narrow, you have to go to the button and you have to make it a little bit bigger so it goes bigger on the laptop screen, but it goes wider as it comes into the picture on the LCD screen. So that's what I'm trying to figure out now. That's a cool one with some good northern lights behind them over there. And I just wanna see what's gonna look good with that's some brick inside of there, some bokeh, some ice. So we're gonna go backwards now, and we're gonna see what it looks like the other way. So let's see what these look like. That one looks good. That one looks good. I kind of like the bokeh one. The wood one I really like too. So I've got a couple of pieces of junky wood that came off of a stump that I had someplace. So I grabbed some old pieces of wood, kind of thing like that. So now we're gonna bring this inside of here. So now we're gonna just shut those lights off again so I can kind of get back to my original where I wanna be kind of screen. Let's see what I want over here. So I need to go to the left just a little bit to kind of get inside of my frame. And then if I need to kind of zoom it in a little bit, I go to the magnifier and zoom it in just a little bit. And now that's gonna bring the wood texture onto the back of that. That looks really good like that. So if it's dark for you, sorry. So be creative when it comes to try not to block the logo. That's the most important thing, is literally try not to block the logo from, and sometimes too much is too much. So you gotta look at what you've got and figure out, okay, that's too much or that's not enough, and look at what that cup does inside of there. So I'm at 1/64th on my A, 1/32nd on my B. I'm using my light here to diffuse this, so we're gonna bring this back over to the front. But that is, let's see what my proper exposure looks like. I can go a little bit lighter, so I think I want to go a little bit. So now, because I went with a darker picture now, I definitely feel like, so I made a few changes. 1/100th of a second on a tripod with a trigger, f/4.5 and ISO 800. So let's just take a look at that. All flashes are on and way, 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 way too bright and a lot of flare. Double check your focus points. Always, anytime you move anything, even if it's just a light, always double check your focus points, because it can look good on a screen. All of a sudden you zoom it in Photoshop and it is nowhere near what you had hoped it would be. So a lot of flare on something like that. So like that, but I can take one of the other images or crop that just to kind of get out. But what I'm looking at is the front of the screen and the front of the can is the most important thing for me. So I think I'm gonna kind of shimmy it just a little bit more. Ooh, I like that already. I just gotta watch the flare on the edge. That's what I gotta watch. So when I'm looking at the front of the can, 50% glycerin and 50% water. And I'm just gonna kind of spritz. What I did notice is, be careful you don't spray the TV screen because it leaves a little bit very streaky stuff. So we're gonna do that. So just like that, I went through 2 products already. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the wood out. I'm gonna take the Dead Guy Ale out. I'm going to wipe off my table, make sure there's nothing on my screen. Now my next one is going to be my Jones Soda. So I want to be, because of the color on this one, I want to be very, very specific. And as you can see, it's taller, so I definitely want to go back like this. I want to go up, and I'm definitely going to need a, I'm not sure if I'm going to need it horizontal. I want to find the picture first. So let's find the picture first that we want to use. And what I did was I went on to online, right click, save the computer. They're all free. You can do that. But I had the specific, now I got to go back and get primary colors. If I wanted to have a solid background for whatever reason, and then Photoshop words in or something like that. So I can do that. So I'm going to go back and get dark gray, light gray, and a very light gray. Black, white. And then I don't want to cut the stuff out in Photoshop. That's the problem that I have is, yes, you can get a nice clean line on there, get the pen tool and do all that stuff. But if I can do it right in the camera, and then I only have to Photoshop what I want to Photoshop in Photoshop out what I want to Photoshop out, I don't have to worry about the background because I already got the background that I want. I'm good with that. So some reds, some yellows, some orange, some greens and things like that, and then get some kind of better bokeh lights and things like that. So you can be really, really creative when it comes to that, because it all depends on, you want your background to match the product. It must match the product. You would not have a dark black with almost like a sepia toned color can and put fluorescent orange next to it. So you got to find a background that matches and complements, because it throws it all off if you don't do that. So I didn't want the wood again, so I'm just going to look at, that one looks pretty cool. The green's going to pop on that one. These bokeh lights I really like that one. Very cool background. I might use this as a secondary The gray looks really good with the, so I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'm gonna bring this over to here and zoom that up to here, and that brings it all the way in. That looks really cool. I actually like that one. So let's see what the next color, there's, that looks really cool. That would look good next to that. That one looks cool. I used that one already. Really like the colors on that one very much so. And then if you wanted to, you can go in here and you can actually rotate these too. So let's do so that they're right there. So that's another way. That's a very cool. That's actually really cool too. So without touching anything, again, you change the product. So make sure you change and refocus, and make sure you're getting the side of the product that you want to get the side of. I've got the top, I've got the bottom, so now I gave it a little bit of a turn, so I'm gonna move to the side just a little bit, refocus on that, press that shutter down halfway, and then let's just see what this gives me. All right, very, very bright when it comes to that, and it could be the light in the room, but I'm not gonna fuss with that. I don't think I like. I wasn't straight. There's the edge of the bottom right there. So there's the edge of the bottom right there. So I don't want that inside of there. So we're gonna go like that. And I can crop in the sides afterwards in post, get myself some good straight lines inside of there. Now I just moved the camera, so go back and refocus one more time, just like that. Shutter down halfway and do that. Okay, so now I definitely wanna change my colors on this. So I'm at 1/100th, so I'm gonna go to 1/200. A little bit darker. So now we're gonna go a little bit darker than that. So I'm gonna go bring my ISO from 800 down to 400. Okay, so my light there. So I'm gonna go turn my flashes back on and light both of those up. So let's do this and bring this in a little bit closer so it stays there. Whoop, without dropping that. So let's do that. Let's see what, okay, flashes. I need to go, I think my ISO is a little bit too low. One way to fix that is go smaller. Let's go back, because I'm on a tripod, let's go to 1/100th of a second. I feel like there's no definition and depth to my curves in my edges, so it looks kind of flat. I'm at 1/128th of power, so I'm going to go to 1/64th. Let's keep them both the same. Let's just see what that does. All right, so now we're starting to get some good definition inside of there too. Very, very happy with that. So ISO 400, f/4.5, 1/100th of a second. So I feel like I need to be a little bit brighter. So I'm going to either go, let's go up on the flash just a little bit. Let's go to 1/32nd on both of them, A and B. And let's just see what that looks like. I made a little bit of an adjustment, so I'm going to go back and refocus. All right, now I'm starting to get the front of the can lit up really, really nice. Front of the bottle lit up really, really nice. So I'm going to go to there, right there. This one I think is going to be really kind of like very, not psychedelic, but very, very cool. Okay, what I'm not crazy about is the black across the bottom, but black looks better than anything else given where it is. So we're going to do another refocus again. Bum, bum, bum. That looks good. Again, 1/60th of a second. I got a little bit of the left over there. I don't want to go any further than that. And I can crop and edit in post. So one small adjustment. So I definitely want to go back and do that. That looks good like that. So let's see what this one does. Very cool. Very, very happy with that. I'm getting a little bit of flare on the, so now I've got my base exposure. And now I want to go back to turn my flashes back on. And I'm going to go get an exposure with that, minus the flares on the side. Very happy with that. We're going to turn C on, because what I've got is I'm going to go to, let's go to 1/64th. Because what I've got is a handheld with a snoot, speed light in the back, and I've got this on C, and we're going to synchronize that. Okay, let's check it. So 1/64. All right, so 1/64 and a third. Test that. Now I want to light I'm going to shut my other ones off and get my base exposure for that. Let me do that again, like that. And now I want to light up the green bottle. So definitely too bright when it comes to that. So we're going to slide this light out of the way. And usually I do this, I'll move both of the lights out of the way. And then I will come in with my trigger. And I can't see the screen right over there now, but I want to light it up. I can see it now. So I want to light it up from the back side over here. So light up the bottom. That looks, I'm very happy with that. I think that's my exposure right there. I'm very happy with that. But just to kind of see what else I can do with it, let's go lighting up the top. So there is a grid, and let's light one up in the bottom in case we want to do anything like that. Got a grid on the front of this right here. This is probably one of the best investments that I did. I think this is like 20 bucks on Amazon or something like that. And this just goes into an S bracket. This is a Bowens mount, so you slide your flash in through here. We're going to shut that up. Slide the flash in through here, click the Bowens mount, and it just condenses all of that light to come out right there. That's all it's going to do is just that little pop, 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 pop like that. Very, very direct. So product photography with Drings, I'm just starting to experiment with the TV in the background. I'm really liking the possibilities. Other than when you're doing things with the background without the LCD, you got to put a background in there, and all the settings are different. Same thing with the headshots, kind of thing like that. 1/200th of a second, f8-ish, ISO 100. You put the flashes where you want, you light them up in Photoshop, composite them all together, bang, you're gonna get shots like this. When you do it with a screen, you don't wanna block out the background, so you gotta bring your ISO up enough to you can start to visualize the background in there, and you want to make sure that your f-stop is not 2.8 because your can or bottle will be in focus and the rest will be soft. So like 4.5, 5.1, 6.3, 7.1, and then just adjust your ISO, and you're on a tripod, so bring your shutter speed down to 1/100th of a second. Set a timer if you need to for the shake and stuff like that. So you're going to be seeing images coming through as far as what I've done and how the products have worked out since there. My final products, a couple of pictures along the way. So just remember, thank you for coming back to the channel. This was Product Photography 101, and this was in my studio. And hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys for coming back, and remember, smile more, it hurts less. Peace.